I do really appreciate you all coming out today. So I'm not really a speaker as such, so I'm just going to... I've just wrote a few things down, so I'll just go into it. Okay. I am Yvonne Ray. I'm a member of an organisation called Action Collective. Action Collective is all about supporting African descent people unapologetically. If you know you are an African living in a society that frustrates your being, you want to do more than you are doing. If you want to join a network of people who aims and objective is to have economic power by supporting our people in business, owning buildings that will support our community, building an infrastructure that will benefit our children and the generations to come. If you want to draw out your true potential, Action Collective could be for you. So if you're interested, please let me know. Now for the main event, Leo Muhammad. Leo Muhammad is an unapologetically African-born in Jamaica in 1958. Many of us would have known him as Leo Chester back in the day in the comedy show Real McCoy. I did a little bit of research on Leo and found out that Leo came to England in 1967 at the age of 9 and have faced many upheavals and torments in his life. What I admired about this man, although he was going through many troubles, he never stopped reading and opened his mind to learning. Leo Muhammad read this book entitled The Philosophy of Life, Self-Improvement and the Basic for Community Development by the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This book changed his life. Brothers and sisters, I believe Leo is here to help us wake up. If you don't wake up, he'll at least shake you up. No time for sleeping. Action Collective is now proud to present Leo Muhammad.
Greetings, family. How you all doing? You sure? Yes. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, whether we say Allah, whether we say God, Jah, Jehovah, Yahweh, brothers and sisters, wherever we go on the planet, there are many, many beautiful names that human beings use to describe the Creator of the heavens and the earth. By whatever name you call him, I bear witness that there is but one God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I want to greet you, my beloved brothers and sisters, in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the ancient tongue of Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. Beloved brothers and sisters, those words simply mean, when translated from Arabic to English, peace be unto you. And that's the spirit in which I stand before you today. I feel very blessed, very honored, and very privileged to have been invited to come to Sheffield to spend a brief time with you, to share a word with you. But before I go any further, brothers and sisters, I really felt like when you applauded my sister Yvonne earlier on, it was a little bit mean. I mean, we got to put our hands together for this beautiful sister. I'm very, very proud of you, sister, for what you have done and for making this happen. And I really want to encourage you to keep on keeping on. It's very, very important what you are trying to do. And those of us who are in a position to try to help and support you, it's incumbent on us to do this. You know, sometimes I get people come up to me in the street and, you know, they're of this view that, oh, it must be so hard to get you to come and do something. No, it's not difficult at all. And I'm not even doing some kind of favor for the sister. It's my duty. It is incumbent on me as a black man, having been through what I've been through in my life and learned what I've learned in my life and experienced what I've experienced in my life. It's incumbent on me to do what I can do to assist my people. And you are my people. I don't care whether we call ourselves Pan-African, whether we call ourselves African, whether we call ourselves Jamaican or Bayesian, whether we call ourselves Muslim or Christian. You know, these are all labels which a wickedly wise enemy uses to divide family. I know who I'm looking at when I'm looking at you. I'm looking at members of my family. And that's what I've come up here to do tonight, to speak to you as a family member. That can stay there, that's good. Okay, so our sister, she wanted me to come here to speak about unity and the strength of unity, the power and the importance of unity. So that's what we're going to hopefully speak about for a few minutes. And then when we finish speaking on the subject, we will hopefully be able to open up for some questions and answers, so that those of you who have a question based on something that was raised, you can pose your question. So I'm going to ask the question again. How are you all feeling? Are you sure? Yes. Okay, because it's a little bit wet outside. This is chilly Britain. You're black people, you shouldn't be too comfortable. Yeah, so just shake it out, just relax. You shouldn't be nervous. If anybody should be nervous, it should be me, and I'm not. So you should be well relaxed. You can kick off, well, he's lying there, so you can't kick off his shoes. Keep your shoes on, keep your shoes on. But we will look at this subject. Now, you know, I was here several years ago. We came up here to a conference where we were debating Tony Sewell. Can anybody remember Tony Sewell? He used to write for the Voice newspaper. And they invited members of the Nation of Islam to come here and debate with Tony Sewell, which we did. And it was supposed to be an all-day conference where Tony would give a presentation, Leo Muhammad would give a presentation, there'd be questions and answers, then there would be a break where people would have some kind of lunch or whatever. Then after lunch, then we would do second presentation, and then second questions and answers. Well, Tony gave his presentation. Leo Muhammad came up and gave his presentation. Bust up the foolishness that Tony was trying to feed our people. And then by lunchtime, Tony was gone home. Tony had to retire because he could not come here and foist that kind of foolishness that he was pushing at that time. I don't know if he's changed, because I saw him the other day at the Notting Hill Carnival, and we were walking, myself and some of the brothers. He was on a float, and as we were walking past, Tony was waving at me like me and him a good friend. So, you know, he's my brother, I wave back. Kept it civilized. But he was pushing some integration and weak, foolish stuff to black people in those days, and we wasn't having it, so we ran him out of Sheffield. Now, when we were leaving Sheffield on that occasion, we saw this Caribbean restaurant. And it was like, if I remember correctly, it was like mostly wooden, but it was a beautiful place. And as brothers in the Nation of Islam, we don't tend to eat a lot outside. We don't really eat. We have we have what you might call a very peculiar diet. The same diet that Malcolm X ate, same diet that Muhammad Ali ate. We eat the same diet in the Nation of Islam, following the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's why some of you may be looking at me and Yeah, I watched me 20, 25 years ago on the television. I mean, look to see her. Because we look young, we stay young, and some of us, we're actually reversing the aging process. We get younger. So you should want to find out about that diet. But when we saw that restaurant, we were so intrigued by this big restaurant in Sheffield that we said, brothers, we got to stop. And so we stopped and we went inside, and there was a beautiful sister from Jamaica, still had the proper Jamaican accent, like she just reached. She was serving us. And she was such a beautiful, pleasant sister that, man, we felt like we were in heaven. And we had a beautiful meal there, and then we left. Now, I'm going through all of that to say to you, where's the restaurant? Is it still here? Do you know what I'm talking about? Has that place gone? Nobody knows about that place. There was a black restaurant in Sheffield, which was awesome. And when we went in there, the shock that we got was all the staff were black. And it was a proper Jamaican restaurant, but there was a lot of the customers were Caucasians.
Gone, Bridget.
And then my eat is gone. You know the place I'm talking about, brother? What was that place called? That place was beautiful, man. And that's gone. My goodness. I was very impressed by that place. Myself and Lennox Lewis, the former heavyweight champion of the world, me and him were very close, we're good friends. And I said to Lennox on one occasion, after he became the champion, that Lennox, you should invest some money and open a top-class Caribbean restaurant. Do you know that white people go to Jamaica, they go to the Caribbean? Do you know that when they go, they experiment and then try ackee and saltfish? They try our food and they are in ecstasy. And then they fly back to the UK and they would love to try that food again. But they're not going down into the little place where we have the little takeaway shop. They want to go to a top-class restaurant, just like they can go to a top-class Chinese restaurant, just like they can go to a top-class Melanese restaurant or any of the other, but there's nothing like it. The first black people who do that type of thing here, you will clean up. That type of a place where you walk in and take a jacket. Maybe where there's chauffeur-driven limousines taking you there. Because this is how we've got to start to think.
Right.
We keep thinking that we're some low-down people. We ain't no low-down people.
Come on.
What do you think I come up here dressed up like this for? This is top class. You are top class.
That's right.
By the way, the reason why I'm dressed like this, you don't dress like this unless you're going to see VIPs. I came out here tonight to see very important people. That's who you are. That's who you are. Bar none. Every one of you in the audience. And before we leave here tonight, I'm going to prove it to you. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, you know, a very wicked thing has been done to us as a people. Because mostly, unfortunately, and I'm not going to share what I'm about to share with you for sympathy, because that's not a good motivation to do anything. I'm sharing it with you because it makes sense in the context of what we're about to discuss. But yesterday, I was at a funeral. Yesterday, I was burying my grandnephew, 14 years and 9 months old, who on the 4th day of September this year in London was sitting near a school playground when somebody walked up behind him and put a shotgun to his head. His life support was turned off the day after. We buried him yesterday. The delay in the burial was because it was a murder and they so-called investigated. The police say that there was a 4x4 Land Rover type vehicle leaving the scene immediately after the murder, but they have not yet been able to trace this vehicle. Yet, according to statistics, the average Londoner is caught on CCTV every day over 300 times a day. You can't move anywhere without being tracked today. But they can't find a big 4x4 light colored vehicle seen leaving the scene of the shooting. I guarantee you, if that was a policeman who had been shot in the head on that day, there'd be some people in custody right now. But when it comes to us, whether it's Stephen Lawrence, doesn't matter. All of a sudden, they have difficulty making prosecutions or finding perpetrators. I'm saying that to say this, beloved family. You know, black women, you are the mothers of civilization. I want you to appreciate, sisters, that no people could exist on this planet unless they came via your womb. Did you know that all Chinese women are your children? Japanese women are your children? Asian women are your children? White women are your children? They came from black people. Even the Caucasian scientists, anthropologists, they proved this. You know, Professor Leakey and the boys, when they went looking for the origins of civilization, they didn't hang around in Europe or in England. They had to go to Africa, man, to find the oldest remnants of humanity, African people. Did you know that when you go into China and Japan and these places, and you go and you start searching into their history, all you come up with is black people? We're their mothers and fathers. Nobody could be here unless they came via the seed of the black man. The black man is the father of civilization. Some of us wonder why we suffer so much in this world. Why does everybody seem to be so down on black people? And many of us think it's because we are somehow inferior. There's something wrong with us. No, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. Everybody else knows who you are. We are the only ones who have been made so ignorant to the knowledge of ourselves that we now think that we are these low-life people. In America, they call themselves homeboys, fly girls. What are some of the names that we use to describe ourselves over here now? Now you got African Caribbean people now, the youngsters now over here. Because back in the day, see, I'm a Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. In Jamaica, you could not call a Jamaican man nigger. When I was growing up, it couldn't happen. You would get nig out, and then your teeth gone. That's as far as it would go. Now you got African Caribbean people calling young people calling each other my nigger. Copy in America. My dog. Dog. You could not call a black man a dog? Look, family, something terrible has happened to us. When I was a young boy growing up, you see black people walking on the street, another black person couldn't walk past without some kind of greeting. In the Caribbean today, it's the same thing. Don't worry, you could be walking down some lane by yourself, you see, especially if you see an elder, you better acknowledge that person. When I first came here, back in the day, if we was on a bus and there was another black person sitting down the back of the bus, you got to sit on next to them. That's what we would do. Now, it's the complete opposite. Wherever the black one is, you see, you're going the opposite. You're going to choose to sit next to a white person now. What's happened, family? What's happened? Because something very, very drastic has happened. Today, we're depicted in some really ugly, unsavory ways. You know, a depiction is a drawing or a picture. Somebody's painting a picture of black people, and many of us are playing into the stereotypical picture of ourselves, which is not us. I'm talking about, beloved, this is whether we're on television, this is whether we're on the internet, social media, it doesn't matter where, on the streets, we're playing into some image of ourselves which is so devoid of reality. Because most of us now, we have started to believe this hype about black people. Do you know that I send text messages to people, but do you know that in my text messages, every word of my text message is written out?
Go ahead.
Do you know what they're doing when they're getting you to abbreviate words?
Go ahead.
Listen to the way I talk. See, me, I never even went to school. I hardly have ever been to school. I've had about 3 years of formal education my entire life. And it's much of it to do with a lot of family upheavals and problems with my mother and father getting divorced. Literally, almost as I flew into the country, I just flew into pure warfare between my mother and father. And we never ever really got to school. And before I could become a man, I was incarcerated because I got into crime and all kinds of madness on the streets. And my education suffered as a result. But like Brother Malcolm X and some others, I determined to educate myself in these places that I found myself. Because I was always one of these young brothers asking questions. I was never one of these mindless ones that just don't care. I always would question, why am I here, man? What's this about? And because I had that inquiring mind, it allowed me to go in search of knowledge. And over a protracted period of time, I actually found myself. I actually found out who I was. But I use language the way I do because I study. I'm a reader. I'm a searcher. I'm an inquirer. But what the enemy is doing to black people now, because we're the ones who run for everything. Anything they put out there, anything new, we're the first ones to grab it up. But they're dumbing us down. I work with young boys. This morning before we came down here, I was running the WYLA, which is the West London Young Leaders Academy, where we take young black boys from around age 8 up to around age 15, and we try to bring out their leadership potential. And I'm talking to these boys and I'm working with these boys, and we're constantly trying to teach these boys how to be men. And part of it is learning how to express oneself. But today, you speak to most of our young teenage boys, one brother said to me, he's like them old super glue. You can't hardly get a sentence out of our young people. Some of you as parents, you've just given up. Your children come home from school, you don't even bother. You don't ask them no more, how was school? And you see, back in the day, you think my parents, not that I went to school, but you think my parent could call me and say, how was your school? And me, I talk to him and I walk away. No, 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 no. Eye contact. All of this is now being lost in the black community, where you could be talking to your child and then they'll play upon phone or playing some video game, and you allow that. Look, beloved family, you know, there's so much I could say, and I'm going to really try and keep it sharp and succinct. And I hope when we finish that you do have questions, because it's really important that we try to answer your questions. And I hope, sister, that you feel empowered enough to keep doing this. And we will keep coming back, because we need to have regular sessions where we feed our minds feed our hearts, feed our souls. Because in 2017, I want you to understand, there are some really, really serious things going on our planet. And I want you to understand that where we have been suffering as a people for at least 500 years, since Sir John Hawkins came on a ship named Jesus in the year 1555 and started kidnapping and stealing black people from Africa and sailing us across the Atlantic and destroying us as a human reality. Since that time to now, you are living in a time of tremendous change. That status quo that they began, where we were stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our God, everything that goes into making a human being solid, that was stripped from us. Today our name is Smith, Jones, Robinson, Green, Brown, Mr. White, Mr. Hogg. We're the only people who will end up going to India or China, taking out our passport, dropping it at immigration control, and the Chinese man looks on the passport and he sees Mr. White, and he expects to look up and see a white man. But the picture in the passport is of a black man, and the man standing in front of him is a black man, signing in somebody else's name. It's not our name. In the tradition of marriage, tradition, not talking about what them call marriage today, but traditional marriage, the woman gives up her maiden name and she takes the man's surname. The taking of another's name denotes possession. It means that woman now belongs to that man and that man belongs to that woman. That's what the taking of the name denotes. When the slave masters forced us, so you've got to understand this, because I see some black people today, they're so proud of their name. So proud of being called Tony Higgins. That's why I'm boxing. Wake up, Tony, wake up. You didn't ask for that name. If you watch Roots, that scene where Kunta Kinte, see, Kunta tells you something about his heritage, about his culture. Kente, where you get Kente cloth, telling you something about the man's roots, his African ancestry, his ancient antiquity. They're beating him. What's your name? They're giving him the name Toby. Toby, which is naming him after a jug. Toby Jug. And he's saying Kunta. And they got all the Africans watching. And you know what those Africans are saying? They're saying, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Don't give in. And this is, by the way, this is what they do in modern day times to your black leaders. This is what they did to Martin Luther King. This is what they did to Malcolm X. This is what they did to Stokely Carmichael. This is what they've done to every... You see Bernie Grant? Some of you think Bernie Grant just dead one day. Oh man. Oh man. You think Bob Marley just get cancer and them two and just die? Oh man. You gotta understand what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with some demons here. Some real demons here. They took our name, our language, our culture. Because that means that we now belong to them. As long as you going in their name, they own you. Don't matter how big you want to talk. Yeah, I'm black, I'm this. The white man's laughing. You're still called Tony Smith. You're mine. Understand this. You got to understand why in the Nation of Islam he was Cassius Clay. Then he becomes Cassius X. It was Leo Chester. Leo X. Now Leo Muhammad. Why? Was he Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, Malcolm Shabazz? Because he was going and we were going and we are going on a transition backwards to our ancestral roots. Back to claim our own. Back to our father. See, it's styled in the Bible as the prodigal son.
Teach.
The prodigal son went abroad and thought he could join himself onto some strange people doing some strange practices. And he was in love with those strange people and those strange practices until the strange people's world started to fall apart. And he started to go hungry and he couldn't find that solace that he used to find in that strange land. So he started to think. And he said, I think I'll return to my father's house. Brothers and sisters, all of us today have got to do this soul searching and this thinking about returning to our Father. It's not necessarily a physical journey that you have to make, but it most certainly is a shift in our thinking. The way we think is hurting us, man. The way we think as a people, because somebody has given us their mind. Their mind. I was watching an advert just a couple of days ago for Coronation Street. Coronation Street. I miss it, gone man. I don't know if you all watch that stuff. See, let me explain. The last time I watched EastEnders was they were asking who killed Dirty Den. Some of you know what I'm talking about, right? Wow. See, you couldn't pay me to watch a soap opera. You can't pay me to sit down and waste my time being programmed. That's why it's called a program. Because some of us think we can't just watch anything. And you know, black people sit down and watch horror film. And that's how we all watch it, you know. Frightened. Black people, they start watching the horror film, and when when there's no action, like it's not scary, they say they go make a cup of tea. Tell me when the frightening part comes. And we can't watch these things. Did you know that as a black person, just touch a little science here. Do you know that as a black person, you absorb energy? Do you know why you don't wear black or dark clothing in the desert? Because you become like a battery, just sucking all of the energy of the sun, and you will just fry, burn up. That's why in the deserts they wear white, because it's a reflector. Do you know that white people can go to the cinema and watch horror on the television and it has no effect on them? They can just have a conversation like, you know, like when you remember that when the movie The Exorcist came out? Anybody remember that? Exorcist. There was reports that people were fainting, falling down in the cinemas, and the ambulance service used to be outside the cinemas when The Exorcist came out. What they didn't tell you in the news, that everybody who fainted was black. I'm not joking. Black people were dropping, see, because the film was so horrible. White people are watching The Exorcist and say, oh, God, look at that, that's right, isn't it, George? That's cool. When it's over, we're going to go down to the pub, get a drink. That's how it's no problem. Black people watching the same film. Lord Jesus Christ. Because it goes into us. In Jamaica, black man go to the cinema to watch a Western. When he leaves the cinema, he is the character. You see me, my name Joseph Will. I'm not joking. My name Clint Eastwood. When late night kung fu films came out, We did not walk out of the cinema. We are flyers. We take the thing in. It goes into us. That's why, as a woman, you got to be very careful what you watch when you're pregnant. Whatever you feed on, it goes into the baby. That's why they would take the pregnant, they would impregnate the women in slavery en masse. And then they would do the torture of a black man or a black woman or a black child. In fact, what they would do, they would cut a pregnant woman's stomach open, allow the unborn child to fall out, then they would stamp the head into the ground, but they would have all the other pregnant women watching. And pure adrenaline fear would go in through their eyes and directly into their brains and then into the unborn child. So the babies were born scared of white people and they didn't know why. This was systematic. Over hundreds of years they did this, programming us to be afraid of them and to hate self. Look, beloved family, I'm saying these things, you might think, oh yeah, boy, Leo, am I trying to get with the hate people? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. There's a scripture in the Bible and it says, the truth shall set you free.
That's right.
See, truth is truth. And truth is no respecter of persons. And if we don't understand, my beloved family, that today is a day for unadulterated truth, because what we've been fed is what's got us into this terrible mess. Where I come here a few years ago, there's a beautiful restaurant, today it's gone. Back in the day in London, we had Choice FM. Where's Choice FM now? It's gone.
Come on.
Everything we have as black people, we look, the Notting Hill Carnival. Has there, any of you ever been to Notting Hill Carnival? Yeah. Notting Hill Carnival was begun because of protest by black people over the murder and racism that we faced in that part of London, West London. And it was a mass demonstration that turned into a kind of street party that went on over many years, where black people came together at least once a year to say, we got some unity and we got some strength. You go to the Notting Hill Carnival today, you go down there and play Spot the Black. Hardly.
Come on.
It's been taken over by corporate Britain, sponsored by Pepsi Cola or Sprite. You got to understand. We give away everything. Look, man, now what? Sound clash. You know, sound system? See, they banned us from having the drum in slavery.
That's right.
Because the drum was a form of communication for us as a black people. Because we are the most musical, dynamic people on the planet. We could communicate over miles with a drum. Send messages. We could speak with the drum. We call it the talking drum. They banned all of that. We couldn't have music. Black man so ingenious. We'll find a whole tin pan. Fix it up. Make music. Make sound. This is what we've had to do. We've had to be ingenious to maintain some semblance of our character, of our true nature. But slowly but surely over years they've been eroding who we are. And slowly but surely as a people, we are succumbing. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Imagine back in the day we were stronger. There was more unity. Not now. What's going on? Because they understand who you are, who I am. Do you know who you are? I'm going to tell you straight up. You can take it or leave it. But I've got to tell you the truth. See, brothers and sisters, and in fact, let me look at, I've got a little note here, I want to look for it in my notes because I want to just read it to you. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26, it says this, and God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have power and dominion over all the earth. You know who that's talking about? Brothers and sisters, do you realize that you are God? I want you to hear me. There's another scripture in the Bible. It says, ye are all gods.
Come on, black man.
Children of the Most My God. Brothers and sisters, do you know that as black people, you are directly related to the creator of the heavens and the earth?
Come on.
Oh man.
Come on,
Isn't it sad? You know, other people know this about you.
Come on.
Do you know that in Europe, they have images and statues of a black Madonna and child? They know that Jesus, see, because some of us still got that Caucasian man on our wall at home. Blonde hair, blue eyes. You say to the average black person, think of Jesus. A white man comes into your mind immediately. This is the truth. It's the truth. Don't deny it. See, when people are alcoholics, before they can cure alcoholism, one of the first things they have to do is admit. They go into that circle, they say, my name is Leo, and I'm an alcoholic. It's a wonderful start. Once you can acknowledge that you got a problem, you can then begin to make the changes. But as long as we are in denial, you know that woman who gets beaten up every week by her boyfriend, and she's always got a black eye, she'll wear dark glasses, and her friends know. And her friends say, you should leave him, you know. That man is dangerous, he's gonna kill you one day. And she said, oh no, but he only beat me on Friday night. Trying to find any excuse to stay with him, knowing that the man should be by himself. Look, beloved family, you and I are directly related to the creator of the heavens and the earth. That book, Bible, the book that we read as Muslims, the Quran, from cover to cover, both books is talking about us.
That's right.
You know, some of you heard about Freemasons and Illuminati and these secret. Do you know who they study in those secret rituals that they do?
Come on.
Black people. We're the secret. We're the big secret. You know why they come after you the way they come after you? Have you ever seen the way the police come for you, young brothers? Why do you think 10 care have to come for 1 month? Why is your designation on their walkie-talkies IC3? When them say 1, them say 3. It's deep. You got to understand, they know something about you that you don't necessarily know about yourself. Did you know that before they enslaved us, they tried to enslave Indians?
That's right.
You know why there's no more Arawak people in the Caribbean? They died out. The Caucasians flew in, they killed them off with disease and whatever. Do you know why eventually they went and got Africans to enslave? Because they realized that we're powerful and strong. We are indestructible people. After all that we've been through, still here. Did you know? Praise be to God. Praise be to God. Yes, beloved. I'm really jumping from one thing to another because I'm actually quite excited. Yeah, I want you to understand something. See me, I make no apology for the way I'm talking. Because I learned something, man. And if I'm any kind of brother, I will share it. Even if you don't like it. Because some people, I was saying to my sister, we're so fast asleep. And, you know, sleep is a wonderful thing. I want you to think about your quilt at home. Especially in the winter time, you know, it's warm. And what I represent is that person coming into your bedroom. I pull out the quilt, time for get up. You know how you feel about that person, right? You're vexed. Leave me alone, man. But I have to pull the quilt off because it's wake up time. We cannot continue to sleep in Sheffield. Sheffield has got to recognize that there is something big going on our planet.
Yes, sir.
And it involves you. And if you don't play your role, you will continue to be victimized. You complain, you go in the Asian man's shop, give him your money, in hand, when him give you the change and put it on the counter. Black people vexed. Well, what's going on? What's going on? You don't understand. why he's doing that. He knows something about you. You think he's doing it because you're inferior and he thinks your hand is dirty. No, it's not. He knows your hand ain't dirty. But he knows that he can't afford to show you the level of respect that would allow you now to start to realize who you are. I'm getting to something here. Look, beloved family. Every new drink that comes on the market, who goes and buy it? Black people. Have we got any Red Bull drinkers in here? Oh God, don't tell me, don't put up your hand. Red Bull. Do you know that you couldn't pay me to put a drink in my mouth called Red Bull?
Go ahead.
They brought out another drink, Monster. See, black people, Monster. Black people are drinking Tennants. Do you know that you can never become a landlord drinking Tennants? Some people got that. Black people drinking special brew. But we never ask, who was it specially brewed for? We jump and run and take anything these people offer us. You know, back in the day, when I came from Jamaica, our next door neighbour, who is a Caucasian person, they couldn't invite us next door for a drink. Come a cup of tea, love. No, we wouldn't go. We wouldn't go. We would politely decline. It's okay, thank you very much. We never eat them thing there. We never eat savalai from the fish and chip shop. In fact, when I was growing up, we wasn't allowed to walk and eat.
That's right.
My parents said, only dog walk and eat. Human beings sit down. And I came here, I got the shock of my life. I see people on Walk Street, I eat out of a newspaper. That's how they used to do the chips back in the day. Newspaper. And you know that the ink would run onto the chips. And they would eat it on the street. We never ate certain things, man. Do you know that we're people who come from a green pastures? Do you know that we're rural people? Do you know that we're the original agriculturalists?
Yes, sir.
This is who we are. But now they got us as urban. And black people believe that we belong to the concrete jungle. Yeah, man, be a black man, I might think this, the city. It's not us. We're the original farmers. Mention farming to black people, they look at you like you're mad. Me farm. So we won't grow our own food.
That's right, come on.
That means we have to go into somebody else's kitchen to eat. Feed them food don't agree with you. The only reason why you still look half good is because you're so resilient. Because you come from God. But over a protracted period of time, you will wear down. See, now you've got black people dying at 70, 60. Some of us, if a black person get into 80 around us, yeah, black people, yeah man, he might have a good run. He might have a good run. Do you know how long we used to live? Anybody here ever read a Bible? Can I just see a show of hands? Anybody who's read the Bible? A few of us, okay. In the Bible, it talks about people living 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 700 years. Methuselah, he lived 950 odd years, nearly 1,000 years. When black people hear them things, they say, "Ah, come on, man, it's like a pipe dream." Look, beloved family, those are us. Do you know that when you die at 70 years old, you are a little baby?
Come on, teach.
We think that 70, I'm old. Please.
Come on, black man,
Please. See, brothers and sisters, you're so powerful. But as long as we are coming up in somebody else's mind, in somebody else's construct, and we are the only people in the UK We're the only ones who refuse. Listen to what we refuse to do. We refuse to do what other people take for granted. Listen to what other people take for granted. Have you seen big China? China, it's a big country, right? I think they boast that there may be 1 billion Chinese. I heard one boast, they said if all the Chinese people jump up in the air at the same time and land, they would crack the earth. That's how many of them they say there are. Don't matter how big China is, don't matter that China's got nuclear weapons, don't matter that China is lending money to America and Britain and Europe, doesn't matter. In every major city in this country, guess what? There's a Chinatown. Do you think the Chinese people are foolish people? Do you think them stupid? Do you think you could go into Chinatown and say to the Chinese people, you lot are just racist, why do you all stick together? They would laugh you out of China. Come out! We can't do the Chinese accent. Get out! No, that's not Chinese. They would laugh you out of Chinatown. Why do they have Chinatowns? Because the Chinese people understand that to get respect, you gotta have some unity and some strength and some power.
Yes, sir.
Asian people. Don't matter whether the Asian man is a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian, atheist, Asian people work together. The Asian is so powerful in the UK that he wants to be a policeman. Him don't even have to put on the helmet. Just put the badge on the turban. That's power. That's power. Rasta man go to court, the judge will tell him, take off that tea cozy off your head. No, judge, is my religion, you know? I crown. Remove it now. If he refuses to remove it, bailiff, hold him down and take it off.
Teach, come on.
No respect. Why? Because even though he may claim Rastafari, you see Emperor Haile Selassie? When you see Emperor Haile Selassie, you're looking at a statesman. You see the way he looks sharp? He's either wearing a suit, tie, or he's wearing military dress. Here, black people, about the Nation of Islam. Oh, one or two militant man. Have you ever watched ants? In Jamaica, we have some ants, we call them soldier ants. Everywhere the ants go, they march. Any creature that gets in their way, that creature is in trouble. Ants. You think that we ain't bigger and superior to ants? Black people are bought into this nonsense like we're some kind of rabble. We don't want no organization, no unity, we don't want no leader. You say we ain't gonna need no leader. No leader. See, a creature, an animal, can be born in the wild, and within a short space of time, that creature can begin to forage for him or herself and can survive. There is no human baby, whether the baby is born on the street or in a palace of luxury, that can survive without the guardianship of another human being. That's how God set it up. We are not individual. That's why we have to say no man is an island. The human being, to be born, we have to go upside down in our mother's womb. And we have to come out head first.
Come on.
Science in this. Every human being, to make progress in life, has to have in front of them a head. That's why in school, in the kindergarten or secondary school, it makes no difference. There is a headmaster or head mistress. And human beings take instruction from a head. In your workplace, there is a boss. There is a CEO. In any aspect of life, you will find a head, but we don't want no leadership. Look, beloved family, please understand what I'm saying to you. They have really done a job on us.
Yes, go ahead.
Where they've made us literally rebels without a cause. Where they've made us to think that we can just muddle our way through. It cannot be done. We have to be an organized body of people. We have to do what other people take for granted. Do you know why all of these brothers, you know why we all look the same? Because we are in love with one another. We love each other. Do you know what the enemy feels when he sees black people in love with one another? You know how they feel when they see us meet one another and hug and kiss and greet each other with love? See, love is the most powerful force in the universe. It's greater than hate. See, they want to label the nation, oh, they're haters. There ain't no haters, we're lovers. But who do we love? We love self. See, when I look in the mirror, ooh, I'm in love. You see this broad nose? Love it. See these lips? Love it. You see this complexion? Love it. You see when we go to Jamaica and Africa, I'm in the sun, sunbathing. I see Africans and black people in the Caribbean hide under the shade. Not me, son. Bring it on, son. Pure, unadulterated energy from God. Do you realize how the sun energizes you? Now you see how when you come out of your house and the sun shines, you feel good? Black people, not white people. White people say to you, oh, it's a bit hot. Too hot, mate, too hot. The sun is their enemy. They might have to put something on. Sunscreen. They got to hide. If they get a little, what they call melanoma. See, we are saturated with melanin. Melanoma comes from melanin. What energizes and gives us life, kill them. How can the sun be your enemy? What kind of mathematics is that? They got a problem with the sun. See, you know, oh man, you don't even understand why they're opening all these shops late night. I forgot shop at night. I know you think I'm making some of this stuff up. Let me tell you, let me start to wrap it up. And please, brother, make sure you give me time, yeah? Because I want the people to be able to ask questions. I've not been able to stick to my, you know, really what I'm jumping from a few things here. And are you all right? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. You know, you're not falling asleep, bored. Where the hell this ballad man coming out of? Look, family, please understand. You're a very special and a very unique people. And those who desire to maintain the status quo, and I'm going to tell you what the status quo is. The status quo is called white supremacy. It's white supremacy. They dominate the entire planet, and wherever they find the darker people, especially us, black people, the ones who come out of Africa, they absolutely work systematically to destroy us, to disenfranchise us, to eliminate our progress, because the law of physics says that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. In order for them to rule, you and I must be down. We must sleep. They understand that we are the natural rulers of the planet.
Come on, man.
Let me, I was saying to Sister Yvonne's husband before I came up here, I was explaining to him, you know, Some of us think that the planet is, you know, a few thousand years old. I don't know, maybe a few hundreds of thousands of years old, a few million years old, maybe we say the planet is. Look, brothers and sisters, let me tell you how old the black man and black woman is. In the Bible, we are referred to as the Ancient of Days. There is no anthropologist on this planet that can give you a birth record for black people. For as long as planet Earth has been here, you and I have been here. We never evolved from no monkey. I want you to hear me. Darwin's theory of evolution is just that, a theory. In fact, if the truth be known, they are related to the monkey. I want you to hear me. I'm not making mockery. That's why they will tell you, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. These sayings that they say are not just plucked out of the air. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. And you'll see them, they got proper relationship with monkey. See, black people in Africa, we got monkeys. In some parts of the Caribbean, we got monkeys. You don't see black people hang out with no monkey. Monkeys in the tree. African man down here, so it's the monkey over there, so it's the monkey gooey. We don't have that kind of relationship, just like with dogs. We don't have no tradition of having no dog in no house. Kissing no dog on them face. Let dog lick up. We don't do. See, anytime you let a dog out, dog meet next dog, faces in the other dog's backside. And you're now, yeah, kiss dog. We don't have those kind of relationships. We're not that kind of people. Look, see, we get, it's mockery what we have been exposed to. Man's best friend is God. What did they teach you? Man's best friend is a dog. What does the vicar wear? Dog collar. It's mockery. They claim to be Christians. They say the day that Jesus died, when called it? Good Friday. How can it be good? If a holy and righteous servant of God dies on that day, why are you calling it Good Friday? What good about it? Because what you mean is good riddance. Jesus was a black man. Don't wait to hear me. He was a revolutionary black man who had to, his mother had to flee into Egypt to hide with him when he was born. Because the Romans and those wicked Jews wanted to kill him. Look, beloved family, we better wake up. We better wake up, because I'm telling you, man, this thing is getting close now. The Bible is not a book of history. Nor the Quran. They're books of prophecy. When are they prophesying of? Today. That's right. The prophecies in the Bible and the Holy Quran, they're coming true today. They are being fulfilled today. Jesus speaking to the multitudes today. The Christ. By the way, because you know, people say Jesus Christ. Like it's his surname. I know Jesus Christ like it's a surname. Jesus Christ, the Christ. Christ is a title. It means one who is anointed with power to crush the wicked. That's what Christ means. Read your Bible. It says when Christ comes, he comes at the head of an army of 10,000 with a sword dripping with blood. What kind of Jesus, what kind of Christ you expecting? There's another scripture that says the people will run to him, saying, Lord, Lord. He stops them. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity, I know you not. Understand. And this ain't no spooky ghost. This is a man. There's a man coming. When he comes, hear the scripture. He comes unto his own, but his own receives him not.
Teach.
The light shineth into the darkness, but the darkness comprehends it not.
Teach. Teach.
You know what that's talking about?
Teach.
There's a man coming to us,
Come on.
and most of us are going to reject him.
Come on.
Why? Because he's the wrong color. Him look like us. Hear me well. When he comes, he's going to bring light. And he's going to shine it into the darkness of our ignorance.
Come on, black man.
And we're going to say, nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. No black man could be that. Oh, family.
Teach. Teach.
The Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been banned from this country since 1986. He's been married to the same woman for over 60 years.
Come on.
He's never been arrested in his life. This little wretch standing on the platform in front of you, Leo Muhammad, if you could have seen the wretched life that I was living as a teenager. I used to carry a sawn-off shotgun over my arm, under my coat. This is how I used to go nightclub and dance with girls. Shotgun. I took cocaine. I smoked weed. I carried knife. I did all of that. How is it that a word from Minister Farrakhan could turn around a wretch like me and make it so that today I've got something of substance in my mouth to share with human beings? And by the way, for those of you who think, oh yeah, but you only talk like this in front of black people.
Come on.
No.
YouTube.
Yeah, go on YouTube. Watch how we deal with those white people in Hyde Park. Because we don't play with them. We went to Oxford. We spoken in Oxford. What did they do in Oxford, the white people? Standing ovation. We spoke in Cambridge. What did they do in Cambridge? Standing ovation. We went to Eton. And when we went to Eton, William, the one they're grooming now to jump his father and become king when Queenie get tired. William was, they wouldn't let William come in the room. They kept him just in the passageway by the door listening. And we went to Eton and we teach them hard. And we told them, if you're going to be like your parents, like your fathers, you're not going to last. And we told them, it is the black man's time now.
Come on.
And it's our time to take back control of our planet. What did they do in Eton? They stood up and they gave us a standing ovation. What is it that they know?
Oh, come on. That's right.
Go ahead.
I've been going to America for over 20 years
Teach, brother.
to see the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a member of the Nation of Islam. They gave me, the first time they gave me a 10-year visa. Because by the way, they refused, listen to this, I've been here since 1967. They won't give me a British passport. Come on, man. See, some of you are wondering, you used to watch The Real McCoy. You're saying to yourself, oh, come on, they'll never repeat The Real McCoy.
Well.
Why is The Real, that was such a powerful show.
Wow.
That was the first time black people have watched comedy, we're laughing and we're nodding at the same time saying, that's true, man, that's true. It was good comedy, powerful comedy. Black people say, when is that coming back? And people come up to me on the street, when is it coming? It's never coming back. Some of you wondering, how come they've never even repeated the last series?
That's right.
Because if they repeat it, they've got to pay me money. Leo Muhammad must not eat. No British passport, because I travel on a Jamaican passport. Everywhere I go on the planet, I travel on a Jamaican passport. And when you're trying to go into certain countries on a Jamaican passport, it's very difficult. When I go to Africa, the Africans get excited. They love it. They love that Jamaican passport. When you go to the Caribbean, they love it. But certain parts of Europe or whatever. So I was going, they gave me a 10-year visa the first time, 10-year visa the second time. And then my leader and teacher, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, sent a message to say that he wanted to sit with me and talk with me. And at that time, my visa, the last one had run out. I went to apply for a new visa, and they said, no. Come on. So, do I look sad? See, there's something bigger going on here, beloved. I'm just trying to show you something. I want you to understand that they are absolutely desperate to maintain black people in a little box, but they can't do it. It's done. It's over. The box is open. Yvonne is here. She is here. We're moving and shaking now. We're rocking and rolling. We are no longer going to be confined to some place defined by others. It is our time. Brothers and sisters, as I close, because I really want to get to your questions and answers, I'm really imploring all of you to not just take what I'm saying like it's gospel, but you really need to start studying. You need to start reading. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because we don't know. Understand, look, remember, everything you've been taught about God, about religion, it came from the same man who mistreated us for 500 years. Minister Farrakhan asked the question, if the man won't treat you right, what makes you think that same man would teach you right?
Come on, think about it.
He didn't teach you Jesus to lead you to the real Jesus. He taught you Jesus to lead you to white supremacy. That's why when you go to the church and you look at the church windows, you see these little fat Kentucky Fried Chicken wing white girls as angels. No angel don't look like that. They don't. Do you know what an angel looks like? Do you know that angels are men and women? They look like me and you, but they don't have no wing. Flying is a different reality. It's not about a wing on your back. This is how you fly. See the way they look like wings? It means that your head has now taken flight. It means that you see the wise among them, when they dress up to go to special occasions, put on the bow tie. That's what the bow tie means. See, when we wear the bow tie, we're sending a message to them. We're saying to them, we know you, and we are the original of this. See, have you ever seen a suit? You see the way everything color match? This is how a suit should be worn. But you never see when you see Tony Blair and I say, well, that look good. You see them stand up the back there, they say the neck there, they say, it don't look right. See, because some black people are so silly, they say, oh yeah, but you dress like the white man. No. We taught them how to dress. See, they got black people thinking that we're ragamuffin. They got the little brothers walking around now with them button old. And the same one will tell, no, I'm not gay, but I'm not gay though, mate. I'm not gay blood. Yes, you are gay blood. How that started was in prison. Where the butch, strong prisoner would tell the little young prisoner, take your belt off, keep everything loose for me when we're ready. And whenever he was ready, he could take him like that. And then also when you would get arrested, they would take your belt, take your any kind of lace or anything like that you could hang yourself or kill yourself with. That's where all of that started. Now our young people walking, them can't walk good. They did a survey. These boys walking now with their trousers down, them can't walk good. They're becoming maladjusted in their reproductive area. This is how foolish this is. Underpants on show. No, and we think this is fashion. Now black people, tattoo. And the tattoo blue. Look like a bruise on a black skin. It don't make no sense. Black people pierced in now. Everywhere we pierce. I'm talking to some beautiful sister. She walking around with Mrs. Something and flashing out the tongue. Come on, man. We don't even like peeing. But we're enduring all this madness through the eyebrow peers. Some of them now they're going through their genitalia. They're going through the penis, the head of the penis. Some of them now they're going right through the clitoris. It's sick, man. What for? We think we're enhancing us. You're not enhancing nothing. You are the beautiful person that you are, how you came out of your mother's womb. You must fall in love with your black self. You are not black because you are cursed. You're black because you're the original people of the earth. You're black because you are the mother and father of civilization. That's why you're black. Do you know that these people wish that they could be black? That's why they be calling you nigga, 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 and then as soon as the sun come up, then I sun it. They're trying to get black. They're so desperate now that they're in the laboratories trying to produce synthetic melanin. They're injecting it into frogs now and turn green frog brown. They're getting along the way now. They're getting there. The women now, they inject them their calf muscle. They inject them bottom, kind of want shit. They want what you got naturally, sisters. When they graduate from their top schools, you know, the girls, they send them to finishing school. The first thing they do in finishing school, they put a book on their head to teach them how to be upright. The black woman does that by nature. The black woman walk in the Caribbean with a host on her head. Host! Some of the brothers here, try your neck broke. But she's got sheer elegance and balance. Natural! So the thing is not even heavy because of the way she carries it, there's no weight. White woman tried that, she dead. It's natural to us. We dance naturally, we've got natural rhythm. We don't have, nobody else will right, not. That's how they used to dance when I was growing up. I used to watch Top of the Pops because it was a comedy show. It was a comedy show. But now you see, white people are dancing, no, and black people, we're so happy when we see white people can dance. Look, family, if you left the room where they're dancing, you soon see them go back to the... Just leave, and then beat you. Look, I'm closing, I'm going to finish, so you can ask your questions. I hope that I've done justice to this, because I know I've been very disjointed. I've gone from one thing to another because I'm a little bit excited about today, and I'm a pregnant man. Have you ever seen a pregnant man? It's what's inside of me, the words that are inside of me, is like a baby that needs to be delivered. And I don't know if you've ever, a woman who've had babies, sometimes the midwife, they try and tell you to hold, don't push it, because you're going to tear, you hold up. No, when you have to push, you have to push. Ask the sisters who've had babies. Somebody trying to tell you, no. You have to push. And that's how I feel now. I've got to get this stuff out, so it kind of comes out, you know, a little bit all over the place. But let me conclude it by saying it like this. Unity is strength, beloved family. As black people, we really need to get together. And we talk unity a lot, but we never try. We never try. I don't know how long brother and sister have been together, but unity is like a marriage. And as you can see in the black community, a lot of the marriages are breaking down. There isn't a lot of marriage taking place. We're now mostly single mothers raising the children, the man gone, the woman is on her own. It's not a good look. We have to start marrying again, but this time round we have to understand that there is no such thing as a marriage that does not have to weather storms. That's how you prove it's a marriage.
sir.
by going through hell and high water together. But guess what? You're together.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So that's why you have to make a good choice in the beginning. None of this flipping around, because we're quick to leave one another. It don't work, but it's the same principle when it comes to unity. I've been walking with this man back over here. Some of you, if you watch the videos on YouTube, you see him right there behind me. Me and this man been walking for years, 30 odd years, man. Enough of them, man. All of us been walking for a long time. Some of them too young. What's your name? He was hoping I wasn't going to do that. Young, handsome black man. Handsome black man. I've been walking with this man. Oh, Brother George. Oh my God, brother. When I saw you tonight, you warmed my heart, man. This is a soldier. Let's give it up for Brother George, man. Years, brother. Wonderful to see you, elder. Love you, black man. Love you, brother. This brother has been in the struggle for many, many years for our people, and I was really happy to see you, because I haven't seen you for a good little while, but we must exchange details this evening. But I've been walking with my brother for a long time. And when you're walking with a man for a long time, sometimes you might have a little dispute, you know? Yeah. You can have a little, and get a little bit shaky. But that's my brother, man. We ain't going nowhere. He used to be my barber. Yeah, let me say used to. I used to have a big head of hair. And I told him one day, I said, brother, you will be my barber for life. Yeah, because I wasn't into this running from one man to no, but I don't like all the people over here, you know what I mean? So I said, you be my barber for life. I said, either me dead first or you dead. Yeah, but then it just so happened that I started to shave my head, and then when I tried to grow it back one time, it was a bit funny, it was a bit thin, so I said no, so they took it all off. So I shaved this every single day to keep it shiny and pretty like this. But I'm saying that you have to go through ups and downs in any relationship. It's the same in black unity. You can't give up on your people. Tina Turner, Ike did her damage, man. But before Ike did what he did to Tina, what did they do to Ike? What did the enemy do to both of them? You don't leave him and then leave every other black person and start talking about what's love got to do with it. Love's got everything to do with it. You don't leave that one who is an abusive black man and then run to the ultimate abuser who abused black man, woman and child.
Come on.
No, beloved. I bought a Jaguar back in the day, a V12, because I was running the motorways and I used to like to move fast.
There you go.
And it didn't have a sunroof. And I really wanted a sunroof in it. So I took it to a brother, mechanic. I said, brother, I want you to put my sunroof in, man. The man mashed up the car. He did such a terrible job. And I was so angry. And I said, brother, what do you do, brother, man? You got to sort this out. And then he started to get wrong and strong. You know the way we do it. Boy. Man's got my money, you know. Man smashed up my car. I said, okay, brother. I said, never mind. I took my car and I was driving down the road. And because there's these white people, they got this mechanical place, and I know them people at top class, they can do this. And in them days, I had some nice money. I was working TV, TV money. TV money, good money. And so I was going to go to these white people to go and sort it out. And then halfway there, I said, well, what were you doing, Lee? I said, nah, man. I'm turning about. And I went and I found another brother under some arches. Him didn't even look too good. And he fixed up the mess that the other brother did and then did a beautiful job on the car, and I gave him my money. I'm not going to give up on black people because one black person messed me up. You understand what I'm saying? Black people come to me and they say to me, Leo, this thing can't work, brethren. The black people will never unite. You can't tell me that. It's like you're trying to tell me, see, if you're telling me to give up on black people, what you're telling me is give up on myself. I ain't about to do that. I'm warning the black men in here. Brothers, you are going nowhere without this black woman. I've got to tell you, because a lot of us are straying. I mean, we're gone. Not just Caucasian women either. Chinese, Indian, anything but the black woman. That's what we do. It's got to stop, brothers. You've got to take another look at the black woman. She is your woman. And the black woman, a lot of black women now, they're very unhappy. Because it's like they can't see a man. A good man. We got to clean ourselves up, brothers, and make ourselves a good mate for her. She deserves to have a black man in her life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And sisters,
Yes,
remember,
sir.
you ain't going nowhere without your black man.
Right.
Because some of the sisters turn fool too. Have a little Fido next to them in the bed. Little dog in it. I'll carry dog in them handbag. He's my best friend. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Get a black man, sisters. And I'm not going to even be shy about saying it to you. In the Nation of Islam, we're making men. In the nation, we make men. We turn them from mad, crazy individuals on the street and we make them into men.
That's right.
For my first 3 children, when they were born, I wasn't even there at the birth. Lock up, all over the place, all kind of foolishness. My last 4 children, I delivered them myself. That's the kind of turnaround. Just me and my wife in the room. Praise people, praise people God. That's the kind of responsible turnaround that can happen when we gain a proper knowledge of ourselves. You are more than who you think you are.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you can conceive in your mind, I'm talking to black people in this room, whatever you can see or imagine in your mind, you can bring it into reality. You have that kind of power. And people know this. That's why they give you all the mad crazy drinks, all the mad crazy food. You know, Kentucky, black people, you still eat Kentucky? Oh God, no. With the secret herbs and spices? You think anybody can give me food with secret stuff in it? Why do you think it's secret? The ingredients of Coca-Cola is not known to nobody. Coca-Cola, you can put it in your toilet and clean the toilet. Take a tooth, which is the hardest substance found in the human being, with enamel, put it in a glass of Coke overnight, there will be no tooth in the morning. If it can do that to your tooth, what do you think it's doing to the soft tissues of your belly and your intestines? Why do you think after you drink it, you burp and the whole thing come up and you get what they call acid reflux? And everything I burn. Acid. Not good for you, family. Not good for you. Learn about yourself. Even though you've learned to do these things, some of you smoke, you're still smoking. Remember the first time you tried smoking. Remember the first time you did it and you cough, oh God, this thing is nasty. But then the next day you try it again. And you try it, and then after a while it's good to you. Next thing you are you're blowing smoke rings now. So you think it's natural, it's not natural. If you walk out here now and there's a tire burning, the first thing you do is call it, you don't want it. That's the nature. But now we're breathing pure fire into our lungs. And smoking and the human system is incompatible. It diminishes your lung capacity. It mashes up the head of your sperm, brothers. When you impregnate the sister and she gives birth to the baby is born defected, weak, susceptible to illness because you smoke. Weed. Back in the day, we used to smoke. The weed man would tell us, sensimania. Sensimania. You have some sense, eh? Not no more. There's no sense in it. No more. No more. This is pure, chemically enhanced, what they call super cannabis. And this stuff has got our people in mental institutions.
Come on.
Be very careful, family. These people are working overtime to mash up your destiny.
Come on, teach.
Don't be smoking this stuff. Don't be smoking nothing. Give it up. Put away that alcohol. Imagine you drink something that's going to make you stuck. Think about it. Think about it. White people, hear the white man. I'm going out Friday night and I'm going to get legless, man. Deliberately. You see, when black people get drunk by accident. Black people just drink and then all of a sudden, oh God. White people do it on purpose. Look, family, let's put away these negative influences that are messing us up. Let's come together as a family. Like tonight, before you leave here, don't leave without shaking hands with the other brothers and sisters, people that you don't know, people that you've never met. Hook up, man. Exchange details. We've got to build community. Any of you women here with children, you should be able to know that you can rely on the village to look out for your children. We've got to look out for one another. Brothers, any of the men in here, you should not be walking around afraid that maybe police might trouble you or some thugs may come and do something to you. You should know that you got brothers. You got brothers, you can make a phone call and the brothers will come and we will always defend you as long as you're in the right. We don't defend wrong. You can't drive through every red light on the road. And when the police pull you over, yeah, because I'm black, innit? No, I got you the red light. We ain't going for that. So, I pray that something that I've said tonight is of benefit to you. I want to greet all of you as I began in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.